You're watching Boomer TV. The name of today's show, Calling All Grandparents. Your help is needed. Florence Ann Romano is the host to empower parents and grandparents to let love in, build their village, and ask for help when they need it. We'll get to Florence Romano in just a moment. This is Andy at the Boomer studio. We're live, and I want to invite you to come aboard and join this amazing community. You can register on the website, and you can see the shows that we have, and you get member benefits. So now let's go on to Florence Ann Romano, the Windy City nanny, with how to balance your personal life and being a caretaker all at the same time.
Hi, everyone. I am back. I feel like it's been so long since I've talked to you all, and I've missed you. I've missed talking about this very important topic, which is you guys, grandparents. And the timing is really good because today you have been on my mind in a very specific way. So I've talked about my grandparents in the past, and I'm going to talk about them a lot because they were my heart and soul. They were the loves of my life. And today, I had this kind of transcending moment about my Nana, my grandmother. I'm named after her, which is why I have such an old-fashioned name. And when I was younger, by the way, I hated my name because it was so different. It was so old. Everyone I was in school with was Ashley or Jessica or just these Madison, all these normal names. And then there's me, Florence Ann. And Florence Ann is my first name, like Marianne. And so, pretend being that kindergartner with the name Florence Ann. But as I've gotten older, I have absolutely fallen in love with my name. And I think it's because I realized that the weight that it carries, the legacy that it is so important to me. And also now there are so many different names that kids have. My name is not weird at all compared to some of the things I hear. So today, I was thinking about my grandparents, who I think about every day, but today specifically because, so my birthday is coming up, and my birthday is this Sunday, actually. I will be 35. And for my birthday this year, my mom had one of my grandmother's fur coats that she's had for years and years and years redone for me, her coat to be resized for me, because she was like a tiny little thing. She could like fit in your pocket. And so we needed to make some adjustments. But inside the coat, her name is inside it, monogrammed. And now my name is inside the coat, and her name is stitched inside the pocket, her original monogram. And I love it. It gives me goosebumps when I think of it. So today I tried it on earlier today for the first time. And I looked in the mirror and I was like, oh my gosh, I see my grandmother. And I don't actually look like my grandmother. I look like her husband, my grandfather, my papa. But in that moment, wearing that coat, it could have been Nana. And I started thinking about these things that we pass on, the legacies we leave our grandchildren. It doesn't have to be a coat that you leave them, but these things that don't seem to hold that much value, I guess, in your mind at the time, or all that important at the time, end up being the link to them on the other side. And whatever you believe, wherever you believe they are, heaven or right next to you in the air or in the earth or whatever you think, it got me thinking about that. And I started thinking about you guys, knowing I was going to be talking to you guys later, and thinking, what's important regarding your legacy for your grandchildren? What do you look forward to leaving them or teaching them that's going to live on? And we talk about this balance of your personal life as a grandparent and being a caretaker for your grandchildren. And I think one amazing perk of being the caretaker for your grandchildren is that you do form this unbelievable bond, and you get to know each other on this deeper level. And these moments, like I just, recalled with my grandmother, I remember her wearing that coat all the time. I remember hugging her goodbye and nestling my face into it. And when I put it on, it's almost like I could smell her again. And, I know we don't want to think about the morbid side of things, like one day when we're gone and what do we leave? But it's through these moments, through this bonding that you have with your grandchildren, that you allow for that legacy to go on. And I know my Nana was watching me in that moment, put on that jacket, standing right next to me. And I could hear her in my head going, wear it in good health, Florence Ann, wear it in good health, wear it while you can. And that's always what she used to say. And so, you wonder what are your grandkids going to remember from their time with you, the words that are going to play back in their mind, the feeling that they're going to get when they think of you, or when they smell something or see something, that you kind of come swirling, twirling, wafting back to them. And I just think that's really neat. I think that's really profound. And I just think it makes the life that we weave, the life that we live, the labyrinth that we walk, so important and so special and so valuable. And so I wanted to share that story with you today, because I know all of you have stories like that too, about things that you hope to leave to your grandchildren, or moments that you're hoping that they remember, or even things that the kids are saying back to you now. Oh, grandma, I remember when you did this, even if it was a week ago, or maybe it was a few years ago, but kids remember. Kids remember the strangest things. And even as adults, we're like, oh my gosh, I had this flashback of something. And why do I remember that? Why did that imprint on me? So I think we have to have sometimes a conscious thought process, or an active decision, or a specific intention sometimes behind the things that we want to remember, the picture we want to take in our brains. So we're going to come back after this break, and I would love to hear some of your questions that you have, and hear some of your stories as well. Balancing, your personal life and your life as a caretaker, it's a delicate line that you walk on, but the benefits, they're amazing on the other side of it. And I think the moment I had today, thinking about my grandmother and the huge role that she played in my life as a caretaker, I hope that can be inspiration for all of you. So Andy, let's take a break, and then we'll come back and answer some questions.
All right, here we go. Just want to invite you, make sure to come aboard and join the amazing Bloomer Boomer community. You can register on the website and get updates and get show schedules, and really have a lot of fun, and hear from people like Florence Ann Romano, the Windy City nanny. And let's get back to Florence Ann with some of your frequently asked questions. We're back, Florence Ann.
So what do we have, Andy? Who wants to know what?
Yeah, well, listen, this one is a timely one, I guess. This is from Jamie, and she's asking about she's asking you your favorite smartphone app for communicating with the grandkids.
Sure. Jamie, that it is very timely to be talking about that. And actually, I have a list of apps actually that I would like to suggest to you guys too, that I think are also fun apps for everyone to use with their grandkids. But one of my friends, her kid uses the Messenger app on Facebook with me a lot. And so she can write to me, the kids can write to me, her and her brother, they can write messages to me, but also can use it to video chat as well. And the good news about that is the parent can monitor the conversations that are going on in that messenger. And so I think that's a nice safety, built-in safety precaution there. But I've really enjoyed being able to use that with my honorary nieces and nephews. And it's a really nice way to stay in touch. And kids know how to operate technology, Jamie, so far beyond anything an adult can do. I honestly was watching one of my best friend's kids using her iPad, and I was watching her fingers just fly and move and swipe and twirl and all over the place. And I was shocked. I couldn't believe what she could do. I mean, she had tips and tricks for me that I could have never even imagined. So I love that app. I love the Kids Messenger app for that. And then, using FaceTime is great, using Zoom. Google has a great one called Google Hangout that you could use as well. And then also there are some really fun apps that I think grandparents are looking for things to do with their kids. There's one that I found more recently called Book Chat, where you can actually read along on the screen with your grandchild, and the pages turn and you can practice words with them. There's a fee attached to it, but they can kind of create a library. And I think that that's awesome. There's a Wheel of Fortune game that you can play with your grandchildren. Wheel of Fortune brings me back to my grandparents too, because we used to watch that together all the time. But there's an app you can play with the grandkids with that, which I think is so fun. And I know this might sound strange, but Ancestry.com was something I did with my grandparents when they were alive. And it's not necessarily an app you play with, but it does start a conversation. It is a conversation starter once you get those results back. And the grandkids can interview about your life and they get to know you on a deeper level. So I would suggest doing that because it's so nice to have for posterity, truly. And Tiny Beans is so cute. So many of my friends use this. It's a way that families can upload their videos and upload their photos, and then you get an email and shows you kind of what happened that week in the life of your grandchild or your friends or your family or whomever. So those are some of my favorite ones. And some are educational, some are just for fun, but lots of ways to stay in touch.
Ancestry.com idea, that's a good one.
Yeah.
This is from Stacy, and actually you kind of answered it. She says, should I limit the time I allow my grandkids to use video talk?
It's a hard time right now, honestly, to be limiting technology because look, us adults, we have to use it constantly. I mean, I've been on Zoom all day. I feel like today I'm on Zoom almost all day, every day. And if the children are really missing connection, this is a way for them to do that. If they're still being remote learning from home, they're not in school with their friends, and a lot of kids still are home. It is a way for them to still connect. I always talk about village. Kids need a village too. So, yes, you can limit the screen time if they're not getting their homework done or they're really glued in and you're not getting family time, you're not getting, one-on-one time or quality time, then yeah, you can limit it. But I think right now, technology is the only thing that's keeping a lot of people together. So we need to be a little loosey-goosey about it.
This one, I don't know if you've ever had this asked before, but this is from Norm, do you think that we should have just one grandparent on the call at the same time, or is it okay to have both there?
I think both is great. Sometimes you might want to take shifts just because you can break it up and you can kind of elongate that time. And sometimes it's helpful to, for something for the kids to look forward to. Okay, I'm going to talk to grandma at this time. And then maybe a couple hours later, I'm going to talk to grandpa. So it gives them something to do. But I think, talking at the same time is great. It's just like any other conversation you'd have in real life, one-on-one with someone for lunch is great, but then also a group of people as well is a lot of fun, and the dynamic changes and the energy is different. So I think it just depends on what you want to get out of it. But if you want to break up the day, sometimes it's nice to split you up. Andy, are you still there?
Sorry about that. What? We're talking technology, and you'd think I would get this one down, but I didn't push the mic button. Now maybe, so I
was like, I lost him.
I
oh
know.
gosh, my answer was terrible.
Yeah, but I was in the process of asking you if people need to get in touch with you and what's going on with you and where they can reach you.
Yeah, I would love, you grandparents, I'd love you to get in touch with me. It's funny, I'm getting more and more grandparents actually following me on Instagram, which is Windy City Nanny. And it's funny because I think a lot of people think, I'm just a resource for parents as a former nanny. And I'm not. I am a resource for families, for the whole family. And I really love my conversations with grandparents because I connect so much to you and the joy you bring to your grandchildren's lives and the role you play in their lives. So Instagram and Facebook is Windy City Nanny. My website is windycitynanny.com. I also have blogs on windycitynanny.com that are for you specifically, you grandparents. Some fun things for you to try with your grandchildren, things to keep you busy, things to keep you creative, things to educate you. But please use me as a resource anytime. I am here for you.
Well, thank you so much, Florence Ann. It's been great seeing you, and happy birthday.
Thank you so much. Another journey around the sun.
That's right. That's right. Well, we will see you next time. Sounds good.
Can't wait. Thank you.
Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Andy. Bye.
I want to thank you for watching. Florence Ann Romano, the Windy City Nanny. You can find out more on Facebook and YouTube and at bloomerboomer.com. If you like this, please like us on Facebook and follow us. And meantime, come aboard and join the Bloomer Boomer community. We'll see you